Welcome to the Philly Podcast Fantasy Thon 2017. Right now, I started a little bit early. It's about 11:42. I was supposed to start at 12. I just got back from the gym and I'm just like, all right, fine, let's get started. I got everything ready. Got everything right here. So what we're gonna do is we have um, three different types of, well, I guess you could say sources. Um, I have Thon Sports with their rankings. I have ESPN with theirs, and then I have another site called. It says FF2 Toolbox. I just printed the thing out. Um, so we'll go over this. We'll talk about a couple players. We'll talk about the best at the position. We'll go through the positions. Um, I'll throw in who I think is going to have the best year. I'll throw in obviously the best players, the top five at the position, um, and then I'll say who I think is going to really stand out this year. All right, so tune in, offer your opinions in the group chat. Then we're going to create an ultimate team, which the best, I guess you could say, obviously, I guess you could say an ultimate team of sleepers. So, like, I don't know, the quarterback who I think is going to be really good that's been underrated, running back, receiver, tight end, etc. And then I'll have a flex, a kicker, and a defense. So, yeah, we'll get going with that. All right, so let's check the live chat real quick. Oh, here we go, Andrew. Getting out of here on the live chat. We're just checking the live chat real quick before we get in. Yes, let's go podcast. You work out. Okay. Yeah, I've been just doing light stuff at the gym, not big things. ESPN is fake news. I am not a big fan of ESPN, but they do. I guess you could say they could do a good job of fantasy football. I never minded them on fantasy football. So, I just threw it out. I mean, they have a pretty decent cheat sheet right here. So thank God I'm listening to this. I don't know if I could draft tomorrow without this. I think DeMarco Murray is a first sleeper. I think he is too. John picked DeMarco was 6. That's true. So okay, fine. Well, Andrew, that's thanks for coming on. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the quarterbacks, and now I've already had one draft underway. I picked now in this other league. I'm doing 2 leagues. This one league that I'm doing is my dad's league, and it's it's a bunch of older guys. My dad brings me on to draft the team, and there's there's keepers. So most of the big name players like David John, most of the good running backs like David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Shady. Then you have Antonio Brown, Beckham, Julio. Like they were all taken. So we had to settle with. We wanted to pick a running back in our first round pick, and we picked Jay Jai. So I mean, it worked out, and then we got a receiver, and then we picked our quarterback. Our quarterback was Tom Brady, who was number 2 quarterback, and I believe is the number 2 quarterback. So we'll get going with the quarterback position. And on Alton Sports has Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback, with Brady, Breeze, Luck, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, Kirk Cousins, Dak, Winston, Stafford, Newton, Mariota, Roethlisberger, Ryan, Bortles, Dalton, Taylor, Eli Manning, Carr, Wentz, Smith, Tannehill, Palmer, Flacco, Bradford, Goff, McCown, Simeon, Lynch, Savage, Glennon, Kessler, Trubinsky, Watson, Mahomes, Osweiler, Anderson, Keenum, Stanton. ESPN has ESPN has Rogers, Brady, Breeze, Ryan, Luck, Wilson, Newton, Cousins, Carr, Prescott, Winston, Mariota, Roethlisberger, Stafford, Rivers, Taylor, Dalton, Wentz, Manning, Palmer, Flacco, Bradford, Bortles, Hoyer, Smith, Cutler, Goff, Simeon, Watson, Glennon, Kaiser, McCown, Savage, Trubisky, Henny, Lynch, Kessler, Hackenberg, Osweiler, Mahomes. And then I picked out the overall rankings for this FF Toolbot, whatever it is, this other one. So I'm just going to go with the quarterback I see. Okay, Rodgers. Oh, shoot. So it seems like Aaron Rodgers is the number one. I'm just going to go top 10 here. Brady, number 2. Breeze, number 3. Ryan, number 4. Wilson, Luck, 5 and 6. Roethlisberger, Cousins, Mariota, Newton, Winston, Carr, Rivers, Prescott, Manning, Dalton, Stafford. All these have Wentz a lot. Jeez. A little Philly bias. Okay, so my opinion on these, all 3 of them. I agree with the top. I agree with the top 3 or 4. Um, no, well, Alton has Rodgers, Brady, Luck, Breeze, Luck. ESPN has Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Ryan, Luck. This one has Rodgers. The third one has Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Ryan, Luck. I mean, they all have Luck in the freaking top 5. Okay, that's Luck. Andrew Luck is the most injury-prone quarter. He's pretty injury-prone, and I think he's very overranked. I think he's a very overranked quarterback. I mean, yes, he's thrown at T.Y. Hilton. Yes, he's thrown at Dante Moncrief, Doyle, but he's going to get hurt. Russell Wilson definitely should take his place. I think he should be in the top 5. Kirk Cousins is top 5 worthy. Carr's top 5 worthy. Prescott, yeah, sure, he's top 5 worthy. Winston, he's definitely top 10. Mariota, Roethlisberger, Stafford. I think, I know, listen, I know it's the offseason, but Andrew Luck is pretty, in my opinion, he is definitely, he's very injury prone. Also, other than that, I kind of agree with it because you have Rodgers throwing the ball. Rodgers is always a very good quarterback. Brady's the best of all time, obviously with the record he has. Breeze is a very good quarterback. He's been in the league for a while, but he's definitely holding up. Ryan has been, he's throwing the ball to Julio. I mean, if you're throwing the ball to Julio, I think Roethlisberger is going to be very good this year. Despite his age, I mean, he's throwing. Listen, he is going to Bell. He's going to Brown. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback this year. And plus, they want to use. I mean, they used Bell a lot to catch the ball, so I think he's a very good quarterback. They're going into the season. I look down the line. 19, and 19 in the break in the top 20 is Carson Wentz. I think he's going to be very good. I know it's kind of Philly bias, but I think he's going to have a better year. Well, I mean, not a better year, but better year for fantasy. I don't know. I guess I mean Tyrod Taylor is definitely overranked because now Anquan Bolden's has retired. I think Trubinsky can hold up. I don't know if he's the starter over there. I think he can be very good. Right now, I think my sleeper is probably going to be Roethlisberger. I think he's going to have a very good season. So, Roethlis. So I think he's going to be Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's going to have a very big year. He's playing the AFC North, and that's Cleveland twice, that's Cincinnati, who is all right, and then you have Baltimore. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have two breakout games a year, unless they're playing the Browns week 17 when they're resting him. But you could throw in the fact that he is definitely injury prone. You can say that, but I think he's going to have a very good year because he's throwing the ball to Brown and he's throwing the ball to Bell. I mean, if Bell comes out of the backfield, I mean, and then you have a couple other guys on that core, so I think that's going to be my sleeper. So that's your quarterback for the ultimate sleeper team or whatever you want to call it. All right, back to the live chat. Jim Jacko, go to bed. Hey, you go to bed, okay? Don't bother me. All right, get lost. All right, for the running back position, ESPN has David Johnson. This is probably the most anticipated one. David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, McCoy, Melvin Gordon, Devontae Freeman. I was about to say Deontay Foreman. That's a Texas running back. I think he's in the pros now. Jordan Howard, Fournette, Ajayi, Murray, Gurley, Lamar Miller, Zeke, Marshawn Lynch, Crowell, Hyde, Montgomery. I'm just going to go top 20. Hyde, Montgomery, Cook, McCaffrey, Powell, Gore. All right, the ESPN one, I will say this right now. It's updated. This is updated as opposed to the next two with Ezekiel Elliott. He's definitely in the top. He breaks the top 20. So, Out Sports, and then this other one has him obviously higher, but these two came out before the suspension happened. Or, I don't think, this one has it. Out Sports came out a while ago, so with two of them are updated. My bad. I guess we'll call this one FF Toolbox because that's what it says. So for the running backs on Houghton Sports, David Johnson, Bell, Elliott, Gordon, DeFreeman, McCoy, Howard, Ajayi, Miller, Murray, Miller, Gurley, Hyde, Fournette, McCaffrey, Montgomery, Crowell, Ingram, Coleman, Perkins, Cook. And then this one has Bell, Johnson, Gordon, McCoy, Freeman, Gurley, Ajayi, Fournette, Zeke, Crowell, McCaffrey, Murray, Cook, Howard, Marshawn Lynch, Kelsey. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Travis Kelsey's the tight end. Montgomery, Mixon. All right, so my opinion on this. Zeke, if Zeke is available by the fourth round, and no one in your league is crazy about running backs, I'd say go in and grab Zeke. I mean, Zeke, if he's available by the fourth round. I mean, here's what's going to happen with him. They're going to narrow. I mean, he's obviously going to appeal. They're going to hear the side. I mean, I just hate to say this. They're going to narrow it down to at least 3 or 4 games, like I said the last couple podcasts. They're going to narrow it down to at least 3 or 4 games, and, he's not going to be out for that long. I'm not saying go out in your first overall pick and pick Ezekiel Elliott. Go and get another running back that's going to be there all year. Plus, they're in the Dallas bye week. So, I mean, you're obviously going to need another running back. I'd say in the top 3, pick a running back that is not Ezekiel Elliott. Go with your running back, receiver, quarterback. That's how you should go. But Going into the season, Zeke is in the top 20, in my opinion. I mean, because as of right now, he has a 6 game suspension, and more stuff might come out. You never know. But if Zeke is available by the fourth round, take him. Especially if there's keepers in your league. If there's keepers in your league, and Zeke is available by the fourth round, that's gonna be very very big. Um, I don't know how Lynch is. I want to put a few question marks on these guys. I don't know how Lynch is going to be. He's coming back in the league. I don't know how he's going to be. Um, Gurley, I mean, he ran okay last year. Not as good as he did a couple years ago. I put a question mark on him. Um, with the addition of Sammy Watkins, they might want to throw the ball a little bit more. We'll see what goes there. Build Goff's arm, so we'll see where that goes. Um, I'm not too crazy about the rookies. Here's why. I mean, I'm not. Listen, I know they're ranked high. I know teams are ranked them high, but I'm not crazy about Cook or McCaffrey yet, and Mixon yet. Here's why. Because this is their first year in the league. They're not running against college. They're not running against college defensive ends. They're running against. They're running. They're going through better run stoppers. I'm trying to say here, as opposed to the college game. So it's going to be very different for them. They have a different offensive line. They have different. It's a different scene, different line. I know. You can talk. Yeah, you can make the argument about Zeke. I mean, Zeke had the best offensive line in the league. I mean, but I mean, we'll see where that happens. I mean, if it were me, I'd hold off on them this year. I'm not going to call him a sleeper because you really don't know how they're going to be. Same thing with Marshawn Lynch. I mean, I know he's had a very good career, very good time in Seattle, but he took a year. How many years? Like 2 years, 1 year off. Took a little bit off, maybe a year and a half, something like that. I mean, he might come in and like a different running back. Danny Woodhead is ranked 23 on ESPN. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. He's the most injury-prone player in the league. I mean, come on. Tell you what, I think as my keeper or as my sleeper, same thing with Fournette too. I mean, Fournette's very high. I really don't think Leonard Fournette's going to be that good. Um, I think my sleeper this year this time for the running back. I know there's two running backs. One's going to be a 20 to 40. That for the second running back. Sleeper is probably going to be Ty Montgomery. I think Ty Montgomery's going to have a big year because Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be a good back this year. I mean, they're going to mix the run and the pass. I don't know. I mean, Jordy Nelson is pretty injury prone. I mean, he got hurt a couple of years ago in training camp or in a preseason game. He got hurt in the playoffs last year, was out for the playoffs. I know they won 2 games. They have Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position, but they might want to move to Montgomery and start running the ball. I mean, he showed he could do it last year, so that's going to be my number one running back as a sleeper, Ty Montgomery. Okay, so Joey says, I love Critty McCaff. All right, Christian. I mean, listen, they have to prove to me that they can run in the NFL game. So, I mean, it made more sense for me to pick a rookie with my stance on that as my sleeper. But Ty Montgomery, this is his first year as a running back, not a receiver, a running back. So we'll see where that goes. Now our second running back will go from 20 to 40. I'm just going by ESPN for this one. Um, Gore, Mixon, Gilselli, Woodhead, Anderson, Sproles, McFadden, Ingram, Lacey, Perkins, Ware, Peterson, Riddick, Bernard, Martin, Coleman, Stewart, Abdullah, Forte, Blunt. Huh. Now Adrian Peterson, new line. Theo Riddick, Bernard, Coleman. I think the best second running back would probably be. Tell you what, I think Paul. I think Paul Perkins is going to have a good year. If he runs behind Justin Pugh and that center Richburg, not going Eric Flowers' way. If he runs to the direction of Eric Flowers, that's just going to be awful. Well, awful for them. It'd be great for me because I'm an anti. I fucking hate the Giants, but I think Paul Perkins is going to be a very good running back this year for the Giants. Especially if the passing game doesn't work, they'll rely on him. I know he's nothing to really write home about, but I think Paul Perkins will be a very good second running back. All right, so our sleeper ultimate team, who I think is going to be very good this year. Roethlisberger as the quarterback, Montgomery as the first running back, Paul Perkins as the second running back. Now we get to the receivers. Now tonight, in a preseason game, I'm going to stay on the topic of the New York Football Giants right now. In a preseason game, Odell Beckham has hurt his ankle, so there's going to be a question mark on him. So we'll see where that goes with him. I think he'll be able to play week 1, but we'll see where that goes, as I like to say. So receivers for Out Sports, we're going to go top 20. Brown, Beckham, Jones, Evans, Nelson, Green, Bryant, Michael Thomas, T.Y. Hilton, Demarius Thomas, Golden Tate, Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, Doug Baldwin, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Robinson, Edelman, Crabtree, Watkins. That's the top 20. That's the top 20. I'm kind of set on my sleep, my one of my sleepers for this one. ESPN, Brown, Beckham, Jones, Evans, Nelson, Green, Hilton, Thomas, Pryor, Baldwin, Cooper, Cooks, Hopkins, Jeffrey, Bryant, Thomas, Crabtree, Robinson, Devontae Adams, Golden Tate. And then this one, Brown, Beckham, Jones, Evans, Nelson, Thomas, Hilton, Cooks, Cooper, Bryant, Baldwin, Hopkins, Allen, Thomas, Robinson, Pryor, Tate, Watkins. Okay, so here we go with this. So Beckham, we don't know the deal with Beckham, so throw a question mark on him. I'm not set on Keenan Allen. I'll tell you that right now. He's coming off an injury. Listen, with players coming off an injury, I try and stay away from like Jordy Nelson, last year. Keenan Allen. I try and stay away from rookies because you don't, like I said, you don't know how they're going to be. and guys coming off an injury because you don't know how they're going to respond. I mean, every injury is different. Every player is different. You might get hurt one time. It might not be nothing coming back. Um, but, sometimes when you get hurt, you don't know how they're going to. I mean, seriously, I try and stay. I try and, avoid that. I mean, if they're good, they're good. You know, um, I'm also kind of skeptical when players go to different teams because they might not work well in different systems and in different places. So I'm not so Keenan Allen. I don't know. Um, Allen Robinson has a bad quarterback, so I would pass up on him. Um, Dez will be very good because they if turns out. I mean, I know they have Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden, but they're going to throw the ball. I mean, they have the best offensive line in the league. Dak's going to end up throwing the ball. He has a pretty good arm, so he might throw the ball to Dez, and Dez, we all know how he is. Um, Jordy Nelson, I'm pretty skeptical. I don't know how he's going to be. Like I said, he's kind of highly ranked. Same, and Mike Evans, I know he's a very good receiver, but the thing with Tampa Bay is they're going to really use Deshaun Jackson. They're going to use O.J. Howard. So he might not get as many receptions as you think he might, but you never know. So we'll see where that goes. Um, so my keeper from the number one running back, or my sleeper, I keep doing that. My sleeper for my number one. I mean, I'm looking at Sean. What's up, Sean? How you doing? Sean says Mike Evans isn't that great of a fantasy player. I mean, he's had a couple good years. I will tell you this right now. He has a couple good years. I don't think he's going to be that good this year. Like I said, because they've added some pieces. They have Deshaun Jackson. They have O.J. Howard. I think Deshaun Jackson might fit in well in Tampa Bay. Um, I really like how Winston's been playing down there. They're really building a good team in Tampa Bay. Um, so I think my keeper or my sleeper, I keep doing that shit. My sleeper will probably be. Tell you this, my sleeper, Amari Cooper. I think that the Raiders are going to have a very good year this year. Derek Carr is going to be back. I think he's. I know I keep saying different things. Like but I think Cooper, Amari Cooper is going to have a very good year. He had a very good year last year. He's going to bring that. I know. I don't know. I don't know how Carr's going to be, but I think Amari Cooper is going to have a very good year, no matter who the quarterback is. I mean, I just it's just how I think. I think Cooper is going to have a very good year. So my first wide receiver is Amari Cooper as a sleeper. Now, I know right off the bat my number two keeper or sleeper for the number two receiver. After this, we're going to check in the live chat because I know there's a lot of action. I know my keeper or sleeper. I keep doing it. I've only had $1 for everything I'm doing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here it is. My number two sleeper for the wide receiver position is Chris Hogan. You might say that Chris Hogan. I'm not even going to name the names, but Chris Hogan. I think it was last year was his rookie year. I mean, I feel like every time I flicked on a Patriots game last year, it was Brady to Hogan. Brady threw to Hogan at least on I think on every single possession that I saw him. So I think that Chris Hogan is going to have a very good year. Tom Brady threw the ball to him a lot. I know you have Edelman there. I know you have Gronk there. Same thing with Gronk. I don't know how he's going to be. He just keeps getting hurt. I think so. My number 2 is going to be Chris Hogan. I think he's going to have a very, very good year. I think he is as a sleeper. All right, let's check in with the lovely live chat. So I know we have a little bit of action going on. Okay. Little bit of live chat action. Okay, here we go. Sean, what's up? I've already said hi to him. I've already said hi to Andrew. Joey, what's up? Jake, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Ready for the draft tomorrow, please. You know, please come sooner. That's what I'm saying. We got a good, like, 18 hours till our, or no, not 18. Yeah, 18 hours until the draft. Or no, not 18. Again, I'm awful with my math. I'm going nuts here. All right, so we have 20 hours until the draft. Okay, 20 hours until the draft. So hang on, fasten your seatbelt. We're almost there. We're almost there. Gotta go 20 hours. You know, I'm always a fan of the draft. The drafts are always the best part of playing fantasy football because you get to pick your team. You usually get to go to somebody's house. You usually like to have it's usually there's usually like a lot of food. There's people get wings. People get if you're at that age, you get beer. People get loaded. Come 4th round, you're trying to stay on your feet. Just how it is. Just how it is. My other draft the other night was just nuts. Like, there was a couple crackheads, but that's how it is over there. It's just how it is. All right, tell me what you think about these about the ultimate sleeper team. Roethlisberger, Montgomery, Perkins, Amari Cooper, Chris Hogan. Just tell me what you think. Seriously, tell me what you think. Andrew probably went to bed already. He's probably like, "Fuck this! I'm going to bed." Or I'll throw on the golf channel, or I'll. That's what he's probably like. He's probably like, "This is bad. I'm gonna go watch Pickle Rick or Rick and whatever that's from." 2 weeks we'll be back in school. I keep forgetting. I hate to remind that. All right. Anyway, let's get on with the tight ends. Back to business. We're going to start with Thon Sports. Gronk, Reed, Olsen, Kelsey, Walker, Graham, Ebron, Henry, Cooper, Rudolph, Ertz, Witten, Bennett, Eifert, Howard, Clay, Doyle, Ladarius Green, Kobe Fleener, Evan Ingram, ESPN, Gronk, Reed, Kelsey, Olsen, Eifert, Walker, Graham, Rudolph, Bennett, Hooper, Ertz, Ebron, Henry, Doyle, Fleener, Thomas. And this toolbox thing, whatever it is, whatever it's called. Gronk, Kelsey, Reed, Eifert, Olsen, Ertz, Henry, Doyle. That's that. So we pretty much usually the top three. So all three of them said the top three has the same three players in different spots. You have Gronk, Reed, Kelsey. Um, so I mean, Gronk is a very good tight end if he can stay healthy. I mean, he's just one of those guys that you're gonna have to have a backup tight end. Now the tight end position, I mean, you have a few guys on here that can really put some points up. Gronk, Reed, Kelsey, Olsen, Eifert. I mean, they can really put some points up. They're the big tight end. Tell you this, I really think that Jordan Reed's gonna have a good year. They're going to probably throw the ball to him a little bit. I mean, we lost Garcon. They lost Sean Jackson. They did add Pryor, and they do want to build up Jameson Crowder, but they're going to throw the ball to the big tight end, Jordan Reed, a lot. So I think he's going to be very good. Jimmy Graham's going to be pretty good. Rudolph's going to be pretty good. Bennett's going to be pretty good. I think Evan Ingram's going to be very good too. I mean, for the Giants. But the thing with them is, they have Beckham, Shepard, Marshall, Jared Cooks, and Witten. I mean, there's a lot of good players. But I'm going to name my sleeper right now for the new. So my sleeper for the tight end is Austin Seferian-Jenkins from the New York Jets. I think he's like the only bright spot for this team. The Jets are just. I think they're going to go 0-16, but I think Seferian-Jenkins is going to have a pretty good year. He's a very good tight end. I think he's solid. He's obviously ranked below low, but I think he's going to pick it up, and he's going to be a pretty good tight end. So my sleeper tight end is Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Now we move to the flex. Flex can be a core running back, receiver, or tight end. Dan just woke up. Hey, buddy. I feel like when you wake Dan up, it's like you wake up Jabba the Hutt. I mean, like, come on. And it's like... Anyway. So, there's a lot to choose from for the flex. You have a lot of good players that could fit in as your flex. I really shouldn't have done a flex, but I have a few. I have a couple players in mind. So as my flex, I will put in a guy that has been playing in the league for a very long time. You'd think he would retire at some point, but I don't think this guy's going to stop. And I think he's going to have a very good year, and that's Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's going to have a very good year, and I think he's a very good flex. I don't think he's going to do as good as Cooper or Hogan at the wide receiver position, but I think he is going to be very good for a flex. Then we move to the kicker. I don't know really. The kicking position. Just try and get a guy that can kick a 50-yard field goal at least, not like Caleb Sturgis. Try and get Justin Tucker, Gostkowski, or Dan Bailey, or Dustin Hopkins. And then your defense, I think the best defense this year is going to probably be the New York Giants or the Eagles. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think, you could say that the Broncos have a good defense, the Seahawks have a good defense, the Chiefs have a good defense. But I'm going to tell you, I think Jim Schwartz and Steve Spagnuolo are going to have very good defenses this year. I'm not saying that because I know a lot about the NFC East, but I'm just telling you this right now. The way that they've been playing in the preseason, they've been playing really good. I mean, the Giants played tonight, and I was very impressed as an Eagles fan of what I saw. So I think the Giants are going to have the best. Giants and the Eagles, you'll pick as your two best defenses. But throwing Kansas City, throwing Denver, throwing Seattle's defense, throwing the Chiefs, just or Texans, or see what you can get at the defensive position. So it's late. It's late. All right, so we still have a viewer. Okay. All right, so yeah, so to the ultimate. So I mean, I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, see if you guys have any thoughts on my ultimate keeper, my ultimate sleeper team: Roethlisberger, Montgomery, Perkins, Cooper, Hogan, Safir, Jenkins, Fitzgerald. I mean, then you have a kicker in the defense, which you could probably get. So yeah, um, so now I'm gonna tell you guys who I think you should try and get at each position. The ultimate sleeper team is who I think is gonna really stand out this year and be a very good fantasy player. Um, you know, Obviously try and get the top 10 or 5 at the position. But try and go running back, receiver, quarterback. Um, when you draft. I mean, usually in my drafts, that's what kind of works. In one league, it's more okay. Pick your running back, then go to the receiver. I mean, it's kind of built on the same concept. Um, to pick those 3 positions, that's how I usually go. Like I said, my one league is more in that mix. The other is more okay. We're going to pick the best players. We're going to throw them on the fantasy team. You don't really go in with a strategy. You just kind of pick the best who's there and just go, just find the best player and then work from there. I mean, which is okay. I just go running back, receiver, quarterback, and then I kind of go from there. Which is, I mean, it worked. I mean, last year for one league, the other couple dumb trades happened on my part, but sometimes you gotta have a dumb moment in your life at least a couple times. But it's in the past. So we'll see what happens with that. But for the quarterbacks, I mean, I go after if they're there. Try and get try and pick up a top 5 guy. Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Ryan. I'd hold off on Luck, Wilson, Cousins. I think Cousins are going to be very good. Running back, just try. I mean, I'm probably by the time you're drafting, I mean, Johnson, Bell, McCoy, Gordon. I mean, I'm going for my leagues. They're going to probably be gone. So try and get Jordan Howard. I know he's had an injury. Try and pick him up. Ajayi or Murray. I'd be more comfortable with Murray than Ajayi. I mean, Murray's been a rushing champ. He was in the top 5 rushing last year. I think he's going to be a very good running back. Receivers, you have some very good guys in the receiving core, obviously. Brown, Beckham, Jones, Evans. I don't know how Evans is. I really don't know how Evans is going to be. I don't know how Jordy Nelson's going to be because he's been hurt a lot. T.Y. Hilton's going to be good. Michael Thomas is going to be pretty good. Because, Michael Thomas is going to be good because Brandon Cooks left. And now Breeze, he's going to have to find some other playmakers. Terrell Pryor is going to be pretty good. Baldwin's going to be pretty good. Like I said, Cooper's going to be very good. I think Cooper's going to have a breakout year. But, Edelman's pretty good. But I know Hogan's on that receiving core. I think he's gonna have a breakout year. Um, Tight ends, I really wouldn't worry about that too much. Just try and get a top 10 guy. I mean, that's all I pretty much say. Defense kicker. I mean, just go. Don't go with the Browns defense. I mean, just don't be stupid. I mean, seriously. I know they're the two positions in fantasy football that no one really cares about, but still, I mean, like, look, I mean, if you get Justin Tucker, I mean, he can get you some points. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. Justin Tucker can get you some points. Same thing with like Dan Bailey. Well, not Dan Bailey, but like Tucker can like if you get to like if you get like into like the opponent's 40-yard line, Tucker can get you a field goal. I'm gonna go with like Caleb Sturgis. I mean, Caleb Sturgis is, he's had a bad couple preseason games. I don't think he'll get. I mean, he has to get his shit together, just like the line. So, we'll see where that goes. I only had 1 year. Man, this went downhill. Everyone just probably went, all right, guys, I'm going to bed. Is Cornelli T still here? I think Joey's probably in like, okay, I gotta get my guy to get this together. I gotta get this together. He's probably all stressed out. He probably isn't. Meat's just like chilling, probably. He's probably like, hey, Dad, hey, Steph, look what I'm watching. Then we got Andrew. It's a fun crew. All right, so. All right. I'm trying to just figure out a sentence to say. It's just kind of that. I mean, that's how I really go about my fantasy football business. I'm not a guru. I'm not Matthew Berry. I'm not one of those big time fantasy football players. But just just try your best in the draft. Try and get some good players. Try and make the right decisions after you get the players. I mean, if a guy gets hurt, if a guy's underperforming, just try and make the right decision. Try and eke out a couple trades and see where that goes. That's kind of what it takes. I mean, seriously, that's kind of what it takes to succeed. I mean, to build a good fantasy football team. I mean, that's how I've seen other people do it. It's how I'm going to do it this year. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be quite honest with you. I haven't had some. I really have had some decent I mean, I've had a couple good fantasy teams, and I've had I've had a lot of bad ones. I made a couple bad decisions, but you know what? Just move on. That's what I'm doing. I'm moving on. But yeah, so it's going to be a fun year. I mean, fantasy football is very fun. It's very fun to play. It's a lot of red zone. It's a lot of red. I mean, if you have red zone, I mean that's the best if you play fantasy football. I mean, seriously. I mean, if the Eagles aren't playing, I mean, my thing is if the Eagles are the priority for me. I mean, like, I hope the Eagles win. That's number one. Number two is fantasy. I mean, I wouldn't root for a player to just. I wouldn't root for a certain player to beat up on the Eagles just for fantasy. I mean, that's it. The Eagles is number one. I mean, fantasy comes second. But I mean, if the Eagles aren't playing a 1 o'clock game or a 4 o'clock game or playing one of the primetime games or bye week, I'd plant in front of friggin' red zone. I'd plant in front of red zone, make a nice sandwich, throw in red zone. Just watch football. Just watch your team. Just watch your boys go out and hopefully ball out. Not Andrew though. I hope I kick his ass week 2. I mean, seriously. It was bringing in the trash talk on the live chat today. It's all fun. It's fine. I like it. I like that we're adding some trash talk. Yeah, that's another thing you got to do. Trash talk your opponent. Trash talk the other guys in your league. Don't get it to the point where you're gonna beat the shit out of them. But there's some friendly competition over here. Just some friendly competition. Nothing beats it. Nothing beats some friendly competition in fantasy football. Nothing does. It's officially Tuesday. It's officially Tuesday. Okay. All right. So I was doing that during the freaking solar eclipse today, getting all this stuff together, and that was I can care less about the solar eclipse. I didn't think it was going to be much. I mean, you really didn't see it. It's just like, oh shit, moon's blocking the sun. Oh wow. I really kind of didn't care. I didn't buy glasses. We didn't get much of it. There's places that got dark and everything because of it. I mean, if that were the case, then I'd make it a bigger deal. Make it a bigger deal, but yeah, I didn't really care. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow will be the regular podcast. I figured I had time to do it. There wasn't one today because I had to do some other stuff. We're going to talk about the Eagles. No Phillies. No Phillies. I mean, I'm just, I know Reese Hoskins and, a couple other guys are balling out, which is nice to see, but I'm going to kind of keep it football. I'll recap the games. I mean, I know they have a doubleheader tomorrow, but I'll recap the games. We'll talk the Phillies. Definitely, I think tomorrow's going to be a big Eagles day, and throughout the rest of the week because this is a big week for the team. They got a game Thursday night. It's the big dress rehearsal. They've been joint practices with Dolphins, so I think it's going to be a big week. So yeah. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Just offering you some fantasy football advice going into the season, telling you who I think is going to have a very big season that was kind of underrated going into the season. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys, and good luck in your drafts. And tune in tomorrow. I don't know at a time, but just stay tuned. See you.